didn't even see that it was on. Hi everyone, Tiffany here. So I put the camera over here right now for this one so we don't have to move it that way because I'm just going to work right here in this section. But hi, Tiffany here, and welcome to my quilting life. Don't forget, if you're new to my channel, right there, hit that subscribe button. And don't forget, down in the description below, there's links to all sorts of social media to see anything and everything that we make here, or that I make here, for Tiffany's Quilting Life. Hi Vicki. So today I have decided, I was outside having a cigarette and I thought, what if, and I love what ifs. Instead of writing it down and wasting time, I'm just going to make that what if. That is why I'm on at 9:30 at night. Well, for you guys, it's probably even later. Hi, Diane. I'm going to throw my glasses on before we start, though, so that you guys can be read properly. That way I can read it. But yes, I know it's late for most of everybody, and a lot of people won't join, but this video will be available to watch later. So let's get to it. Obviously, I know you can see right here because my screen shows that you can't, but let me see. Yep, okay, so my screen shows. All right, so we're going to start with a layer cake. And you can see that mine is brand new, haven't done anything with it. It's flowers of yellow and so on and so forth. And it's probably going to make just a lap size, but this is it. So we're going to open it for the first time right here. It's called Blue and White, and I don't even know if it's by anybody specific. No, it's just a pile of 10-inch squares. So it came from Tuesday morning, obviously, so it's probably just a bunch of fabric lines thrown together. And you guys know me, I love Tuesday morning. So, all right, so what I'm going to do here, and obviously you'll probably see half of my body. I'm not used to the camera being on that angle, but most of you guys know how my room is set up. I hung a clothesline between two shelves so that I can hang quilts, and it actually hangs in front of my camera angle, unfortunately, but it helps me hang smaller quilts. So, all right. So we're going to take out this layer cake, and for this to work, it has to be a 42-piece layer cake because it's going to be 6 across by 7 down, which equals 42. So what we're going to do, move my rulers. You're going to need a ruler, obviously, and a rotary cutter for this, is we are going to separate all this into 7 piles of 6. And I don't want 2 of the same in each pile, so I'm just going to go ahead and start making 7 piles right here in my little area. I don't have much of an area, so one of my areas will probably be behind me. Actually, it won't have to be. Let's see. So I want to mix them around as much as possible. I want lights and darks equally thrown through here, so we're going to pull these darks from the bottom. I know you can see me working here. So we're going to pull darks from the bottom so that every pile has an equal amount. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and one more makes 7 piles. All right, and then what we're going to do is start throwing some lights in here so that way it equals out. 1, 2. Actually, I don't want the same. I want to try to mix them up a little. So there's 2. Put that one in that pile, that one in that pile, this one in that pile. They all have 2 yet? Nope. That one goes to that pile. All right, 3. I'll put this one here first. And we'll put this one in this pile. It makes 3 in that. So there's 3 in each pile now. So I'm making, okay, wait a second. How are we doing tonight? Hi, Sandy. I'm okay. I had a random idea, so I decided I need to get it out of my mind and make it like ASAP without even writing it down. So I'm using a layer cake, and I'll repeat myself a bazillion times here. Using a layer cake that has 42 pieces in it. And the layer cake is 10-inch squares for anybody who doesn't know. And my 42 pieces are being separated into 7 piles of 6. And I'm trying to count as I go. 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll throw this in there to be 6 for that pile. Let's see how many's in this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, did I count 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll pull from the bottom. 5. And pull from the middle. 6. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Again, we have to have seven piles of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this one should get the last 2. 1, 2, 3. I'm mixing them up for 5. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So they all should be a little bit mixed up. So now I know what you mean. Are you going to do what you've got to do to get it out of the brain? Yep, I have to do what I got to do to get it out of my brain. It should say how many on the label. There's a lot that are 40. Yeah, there's a lot of layer cakes that are 40 count, but this one is a 42 piece. It's a one from Tuesday morning, and it says, I don't even know if you guys can read that. It kind of gets blurry when I get close to the screen. So it's 42 pieces. You have to have 42 10-inch squares for this to work. So now I'm just going to throw my piles out of the way for now because I can only cut 6 at a time. And this is one of those going to be what if, let's see what happens kind of quilts as well. Oh, and I should keep it out of the way of the iron because I have the iron pre-on. And I have a bunch of stuff here on my ironing board as well because I have a room full of disaster, but I have to get this out of my head. So we're just going to go ahead and do it. So now I'm going to make sure that these are stacked nicely because they need to be stacked evenly. And don't forget, most layer cakes have pinked edges. We're going to work with those pinked edges on our measurements because it doesn't matter on this. So if you want to use the outer edge for the measurement, you can. If you want to use the inner measurement, that's just fine as well. It all works both ways. I'm going to stack these in a nice little order here. I was just sitting outside though, having a smoke, and I was like, it's hot out there, so I can only be outside for like 10 minutes. And I thought, because there's always quilts on my brain, let me tell you. I thought, what if I did this? What would happen? All right. So it's nicely stacked. They should all be exact. We're going to take the layer cake and cut 2.5 inches off of it, like so. And I'm just using the outside of the pinked edging. For me, it's no big deal because either way, it's the same measurement, same cut. So I'm going to cut that off just like so. And I'm going to take this bottom or this top piece off, and I'm going to throw it on the bottom like that. Now I'm going to sew this pile together. We're going to start with this pile first, and I'm just going to chain piece this whole thing. Like I said, my room is a disaster. I should have brought myself a cold water in here. And I'm going to sew together the straight sides that I just cut for accuracy purposes. Like I said, this will probably make a lap size quilt. I'm sewing with a 1/4 inch seam like I always would. And I'm just chain piecing them. I have my 1/4 inch foot on here. I'm just using white thread. I better turn this down just a little or it's going to shake off my table. Alrighty, So what's everybody up to tonight? I know it's late for a lot of you, but I'm hyper because obviously when I get an idea, I'm like so excited. I'm like, okay, I want to see what this is going to look like. So I got to hurry up and make it. So I got an hour to play with while we're here to see how this is going to turn out. And I would love to see if you guys make this too. I would love to see what you guys make. You know that you can go down to the group in the description below, join that group if you're subscribed to my channel. And then once you're joined to that group, you can share the things that you're doing that I do here. Let's see. 12 something, 11:40. Where are we? Do what you gotta do to get out of the brain. Me too, for too much to be dead. Yep. All right, so I'm just laying these all on here. And since I'm chain piecing this whole project, I'm going to leave this set of 6 here because the next set of 6 is going to be cut a different way. So I'm going to grab the next set of 6. I'm going to straighten them out nicely on here. I'm counting to make sure that there's the same amount again, because just in case I accidentally put an extra one. That would suck. So again, I'm on the next set of 6 now. Pile 2 of my 10-inch squares. Now, this pile, I'm going to cut 3.5 inches. So this first pile, I cut 2.5 inches. This next pile, I'm going to cut 3.5 inches. So I'm going to line it up on the pinked edge because, like I said, it's no big deal. Count over 3.5 before I make the cut. And again, I'm cutting through 6 pieces, and I have 7 piles. Now I'm going to take the top 2 off like this, and I'm going to put these on the bottom. And now bring it back to the sewing machine. I'm going to turn it around this way, and I'm going to sew all these together. I'm pretty sure you guys are seeing what I'm getting at here, right? But this isn't it. This is the first of things. We're going to change it up because obviously you know that nothing I do is what you think it really is. So now I cut these ones again, 3.5 inches. So I'm sewing them together. I moved the first pile, I moved the top one to the bottom of the 2.5 inch, and then paired them up. This is from the 3.5 inch. I moved the top 2 from the 3.5 inch side to the bottom, and started pairing them up. So I love my what ifs. These are so fun to do. What if we do this? And I had the perfect layer cake for something fun. You know, when you have something and you don't know what you want to make with it because it has a lot of large print in it. Well, this is definitely something that you can keep that large print intact and still get something super fun. And I'm sewing on the straight side of these pieces. And if 2 lights are next to each other, it's okay because they are 2 totally different piece patterns. One reads a totally different color than the other. And if my head is down, that's because I'm trying to do this quickly like. So I'll read as I can. Let's see. Had to take the dog out today, making tea quilts, birthday block. Had your 4 patches done to mail out to Margaret Lowen. Plus, you had to figure out the perfect back for the Love Shouldn't Hurt quilt. You get that done finally, Diane, on that one? I know he had no time limit on that. It's a lot of work, though. I finished a quilt, as I'm pretty sure you guys have seen. I posted pictures of the Maui's Adventure is what I called it for that Moana quilt. It's in the group. So for those of you joining later, in the group, I posted pictures of something you guys saw me work on here when I made a panel out of applique. All right, I'm going to leave this here again. Grab the next pile of 10-inch squares. And again, stack them up nice and neatly. I'm going to kind of mix the colors up just a little bit. That way, because I know if I move any pieces, it's going to change it up a little. All right. This next cut, move this where you can see it better. Straighten them up. All right, so this next pile, we are going to cut this next pile of 6 at 4.5 inches. I'm going to line it up on the pinked edge, 4.5 inches, and slice down it. This time I'm going to take the top 3, keeping them in order, and I'm going to put them on the bottom and bring it over here and sew them together. So fun, right? I'm having fun. I am having fun. Definitely going to tackle this project on a Tuesday night. So you guys can just watch me speed sew through all of this. This is definitely one of those things that you could probably make in less than a day. Just a few hours and be done. Because not everybody is as fast as I am. Ooh, these two look pretty together. Super pretty together. Just lining up the top pinking and sewing them through. I'm lining up on the straight edge that I cut too as well. And when we're done chain piecing all of this, the easiest way to do it is take 6 at a time. When you take it all off, every 6 is its original pile, plus all the sizes. You can tell which one goes with what before you go and press everything. But I'm going to chain piece and chain press this whole project. So it should go really quick. So again, we cut one pile so far at 2.5 inches, the next one at 3.5 inches, and the next one at 4.5 inches. I'm going to leave that on the machine, grab the next pile. And if you want to keep your directionals one way, you can. I really don't care because it's all getting mixed up anyway. So now we're going to change things up. Just line these up nicely on here. We're going to change out these pieces. Get this nicely on here. That one's kind of crooked. Sometimes you get a crooked piece in the pile. That's okay. Hopefully it lines up. Just try to line it up as best as possible. Every once in a while, because they get stretched somehow in the cutting or something, you know. It looks like they're straight in the pack, but they're really not. All right, so this next pile, we're going to cut this one at, these are blues, all tones of blues, whites, and yellows. It's mainly like stuff that goes with sunflowers and leaves and blues and light blues and so on. Okay. This pile I am going to cut at 2 inches. So only 2 inches on this one. But we're going to change it up. You'll see. 2 inches. Lining it up on that pinking. This one's only getting 2 inches cut off. Oh, didn't get that end piece. Yikes. Right there. Very carefully. All right. This one, I'm just going to take one again, put it in the bottom, and I'm going to sew these together. And no matter what we do, because all the blocks are getting cut the same, they should all be the same size when complete. If you're thinking that, you know, what size are they going to be? Because this isn't the only cut and sew, and I'll tell you that part in advance. This is kind of just sew along with me. I tried to adjust the blurriness on the camera. I thought it was like showing good. I don't know why it seems blurry. I turned the thing. Maybe my camera on the computer is different than the YouTube view. I don't know. And it seems like, as you guys can tell, I'm sewing the smaller pieces on to the top, to the bigger piece, right sides together on that straight edge. I'm telling you guys, this is how fast it's going. There's 3 piles left to do. But I'm telling you, it's going to be a lots of fun. Lots of fun. Definitely a quick and easy project, especially for beginners. And since I tried to aim to teach beginners, this makes it super easy. Again, I'm going to leave that on the machine. I'm going to grab the next pile. I'm going to stack them up really nicely on top of each other, because obviously when I separated everything, it kind of got a little messy. Keeping them nice and straight as best as I possibly can. They don't always come off of the stack as they go back on. It's kind of funny. All right, so you guessed it. This pile will be cut at 3 inches. You guys kind of see where I'm going here, obviously. So this one is now being cut 3 inches off. And as you guessed it, the top 2 are going on the bottom. And we're going to sew them together. And like the last couple piles now, I'm going to keep them on the machine. Yes, this is definitely a quickie. A quickie. You want to have a quickie? You need to do something fast because somebody needs something that's sick or hurting or, you know, just needs some love and comfort. This is a quick project. And since layer cakes and jelly rolls and charm squares and stuff are already pre-color coordinated, it makes this super simple to do because the colors are already coordinated. So something like this, it puts all those colors together and it blends them no matter what piece ends up with what. And it's not like I'm not going too simple by taking each square individually and just sewing them together. Instead of being bland with just a simple plain square, which is the easiest quilt ever, I decided to, you know, these need to be cut up. And so far, these colors are lining up nicely with one another. And looking really good. And I didn't check to see if I had a full bobbin before starting, but, you know, oh well, if it runs out while I'm here, it's okay because I'm a quick bobbin changer. Today we had Arby's for dinner. We had 5 coupons for free beef, beef without the cheddar. The beef without the cheddar sandwiches. So we went and got those, and then we also had coupons to get 2 for $7 of those Philly subs, or dip with au jus sauce, the beef, that kind of sub thing, and or a chicken mozzarella something or other, 2 for $7, and or we had coupons for 4 for $5 or something like that of for the classic beef and cheddars. So we went and used all those coupons today, me, Scott, and CJ, and got like a whole heck of a lot of sandwiches. And I actually ate a whole entire beef sandwich with au jus sauce and a beef and cheddar. And let me tell you, I was stuffed. And curly fries I ate too. Oh my God, I was starving. I don't know why. It's like I haven't been able to eat in a while. So I finally ate, and yeah, I ate a lot. So that's what we did for dinner tonight. What did you guys do for dinner? All right, so by the way, I'm on the next pile. This one seems to have a lot of lights in it, but we're going to try to make this work so they blend nicely. Ready. Got a little mess up right there on the end, but that's okay. I'm going to turn this one sideways. Why? Because I can. Because I can do whatever I want. It's my quilt. All right. So you guessed it. This next pile will be 4 inches. So we'll put this on 4 inches. Line it up on the pinking. Nice and straight. And chop it. And then I'm going to take the top 3 and put them on the bottom. So that way when I sew them together, they'll be mixed up. This is why I said to separate your blocks. That way there's a good blend with every single piece that you sew together, and no 2 pieces will be the same. So let me repeat the whole process real quick. Let's see, hold on a second. Let's see what you guys are saying. Made shepherd's pie, had 2 slices of leftover pizza, had shepherd's pie, but here it's
that sounds good. Is this good?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'll check it over. I'll check it over all in a minute. Scott brought in the quilt. It had to go for a wash. I wash all quilts before they go to their new owners. So, okay, what was I going to say? I was going to repeat the whole instruction again. So, 42 pieces, 10-inch layer cake. So far, 7 piles of 6 pieces. First pile, make sure you mix all your colors up. First pile's cut at 2.5 inches. Take 1 block, put it to the bottom, then sew them all together. Next pile, 3.5 inches. Take that first 2 blocks from the 3.5 inch side, put them on the bottom, and start sewing them all together. And then the third pile, 3.5 inches. Take 3 pieces, put them on the bottom, sew them all together. Then the fourth pile is 2 inches. Then take 1 piece off, put it on the bottom, sew them together. Fifth pile is 3 inches. Take 2 off, put them on the bottom, sew it together. No, yeah. And then the 6th pile is 4 inches. Take 3 off, put it on the bottom, sew them together. And the next pile, the last and final pile right here, we're going to stack these up, make sure they're nicely aligned. I'm trying to make sure that they're dark light, dark light. That way when I move the pieces, that they blend really nicely as well when I move a piece around. And this last and final pile, gonna leave this piece this way this time. Like I said, you can do your directions in one way every time, or you can turn it up and move them around because it really doesn't matter. All right, so this last and final pile. You didn't guess this one because I didn't use any of these numbers, but I'm going to line this up on a line so that I get it right. This last pile is going to be 5 inches. So it's technically just making a 4 patch, but you'll see. Well, you know, a 2-piece thing, but you'll see what we're doing here. So line it up on the 5-inch line and cut it in half. Okay, so now I'm going to take just 2 on this last one, just 2. Put them on the bottom, and then we're going to sew these guys together. And the reason why I did just 2 on this one is that way it's equally split up. So the last pile is just 5-inch cut and with just 2. And see, this was a layer cake. Like I said, that pinked edge gets in the way, so these are not exactly the same. It would be 5 inches is directly in half of a 10-inch square, but it never turns out that way, ever. Because, unfortunately, they are not the same at all. As long as you're consistent with your 1/4 of an inch seam, as long as you're consistent with sewing them all on the straight side of the cut instead of the pinked side, then everything should come out exactly the same. So after I finish chain piecing these, since they are together in groupings of size, it'll be easy to keep everything together when we go to the next step. I can't see all the comments because they went too high. Click number. So she's just telling you guys how. Okay. So she's just telling you how to cook. Okay. Or how to make something specific. Probably the shepherd's pie, I'm pretty sure. Comments went too high. But I don't mind when you guys chit-chat and it's not directed to me every time. That way I don't have to get distracted when I'm trying to complete a full and entire project in a short period of time. But we're going to see. All right, last piece. These 2 together. All right, so we're going to use this, and I'm going to keep them in my piles of 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So this is pile number 7. Move that out of the way. That was the 5-inch. These are the 4-inch, pile number 6. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm trying to keep them as best as possible in order. 6. I'm going to keep going. 6. And I'm going to go chain press all of this. If you want, I can move the camera down because it's going to take a minute to press all this. What man? Oh, that was 6, huh? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. Totally like going to lose myself here. I try to count and talk at the same time. It doesn't work for me. Oh yeah, what I was saying was if you guys want, I can turn the camera down to the pressing area so that you can see me pressing everything. Because I'm just going to chain press everything. So I guess I'll just turn the camera down. It's going to take 2 seconds to do this because I'm on a different ironing board right here. Stay. Okay. So we're going to start with pile number 1 right here. And I'm not going to care dark light kind of thing. Just going to press everything. And I'm going to keep them nice and flat as best as possible. Oh my God, are you serious? My iron is not warmed up enough because it turns itself off if I don't use it. This one needs to be flattened a little bit better. Okay, there we go. Much better. And that one was flat enough. I'm trying to keep them in the order I pulled them off too, but it kind of doesn't matter what we're doing here, honestly. Because this is just a mumble-jumbled mess. So I'm pressing my seams first and then rolling them back now that the iron is hot. Looks like I'm doing this roasting pan. So you's going to make a shepherd pie, Sandy? Is that what you're doing? And you know what? Since this is one of those, what's that word for it again? Random quilts that I'm doing, I think I'm going to randomize it as I'm doing it to make it even funner. Why? Because I can. All right. So pile number 1 done. Let me just, I guess I'll just put it on the floor like I've been doing. Pile starts here. So you guys remember it all. 7 piles of 6. Okay. 1 pile gets cut at 2.5 inches. Put 1 on the bottom. Next pile gets cut at 3.5 inches. Put 1 on, or 2 on the bottom. Then the next pile, 4.5 inches. Put 3 on the bottom. Then the next pile at 2 inches. The next pile, and then that's 1 on the bottom. Then the next one would be 3 inches, put 2 on the bottom. And the next pile, 4 inches, put 2 on the bottom. Next pile, 5 inches, put 2 on the bottom. And sewing all of them together after you do all that, obviously. And then the next section, the next part we're going to do is going to be just as fun. And I'm relatively sure that these are going to create all the same size blocks because they're all getting exactly the same cuts every time. So, and like I said, I'm not caring about pressing to the light or the dark. I'm just rolling the smaller piece back every time. I'm being very consistent about that part for the next step. Hi, Michelle. I didn't even see that you were here because I haven't turned my head. I am doing a random layer cake quilt. Unfortunately, I just said it all, so I guess I'll say it again. All right, it has to be a 42-piece layer cake for this to work. Take and make 7 piles of 6. And randomize those colors, obviously. 7 piles of 6. Then, pile number 1 gets cut at 2.5 inches. You take, after you cut 2.5 inches off that first pile of 6 pieces, take 1 piece and put it on the bottom of the 2-inch side, or the 2.5-inch side. Put that on the bottom, and then sew all those pieces together on that straight cut end. Then pile 2 gets cut at 3.5 inches. Then take that 2 pieces and put them on the bottom, sew them all together. Then pile 3 is 3.5 inches. 4.5 inches, sorry. And then take 3 pieces and put them on the bottom and then start sewing all those together. Then pile 4 gets cut at 2 inches and put 1 on the bottom and sew them all together. Then the next pile gets cut at 3 inches, put 1 or 2 on the bottom and sew them together. Then the next one is, oh my God, I'm losing track now. We did 2 inches just now, so the next one's 3 inches. Put 2 on the bottom, sew them together. The next one is 4 inches after we did 3 inches. Yeah, so I just said 2 inches, 3 inches, 4 inches. So each pile gets cut a number. That's what I'm saying. So the next one would be 3 inches, and you're putting 2 on the bottom. The next one is 4 inches, put 3 on the bottom, and then the last and final pile is getting cut in half basically at 5 inches. Although these layer cakes have pinked edges, and I kind of didn't take that into account. I'm just kind of free piecing, so technically it's like 4 and like 6/8 because that's how it looks like it turned out instead of 5 inches. But that's okay because it's not going to matter because it's going to be changed again. So as soon as I'm done putting these, this is that 5 incher. So I'm trying to keep my numbers in order. 2, 3, 4, 5 inch pile. I'm going to mix them all up anyway. I don't know why I'm trying to keep them all in order, obviously. But that's what I'm doing. My random idea that I had while outside having a cigarette. And I said, well, you know what? I need to go on live and do it. Get it? I am so confused. Just watch it. The directions are pretty much from the beginning. I explained it a bazillion times. So I'm confusing myself because I'm doing the pressing at the same time. So I'm like thinking, oh, okay, this is what I did. And yeah, so far the directions are fully in it, and I'll write the directions and put them in the description later. I just didn't want to write everything down just yet because I don't even know how it's going to turn out. This is just one of those random things from in my head. And then instead of writing it down, writing it down and never doing it, I decided, well, you know what? I have the perfect layer cake to do this with that has a lot of colors in it that can be matched up. I'm going to go ahead and use it and do it now. And obviously, not only am I getting something done, but I also now have another video of something new. I'm trying to keep all these in order, sort of, so that I can remember the numbers, but I'm probably going to have to use the measuring thing to make sure, because I think I've lost my numbers. I had them in order, though. All right. Last one. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the pile that I cut at 2 inches. So I'm going to turn the camera back. Oops, I totally forgot when I'm done ironing. I got to put the camera back on me. Ready? Let's go back to the sewing area. Right. I'm hoping you guys could see the cutting area too. Make sure you tell me you could see it. And me sewing. I want you to be able to see my face. I don't like when you guys can't see my face because I talk to the camera. There we go. Oh my God, stop. Right there. Perfect. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, so I'm going to stack these up nicely right here. This is my pile that I cut 2 inches off of. I know I probably confused you by now, but we're just going to stack these up. And technically you can, what's the word for it? You can stagger that seam as long as you keep them nice and straight. It's kind of hard to stagger a seam if you can't keep them nice and straight, but I'm going to stagger it just a little so I don't have a buildup of seams. So just a little bit, not too much, just enough to where each seam is away from each other so that I can have a nice clean cut. There's only 6 pieces, so shouldn't be that hard to cut through these with those as long as they're staggered. I just don't want to cut through 6 seams because that's technically 12 layers if you think about it. And that's not very fun. So that's nice and staggered. This is my 2-inch cut from the original pile. So this is actually the 4th pile, but whatever. So these are my 2-inch ones. I'm going to go ahead and cut 2 inches off of them now. So I have, obviously, as you can see, the 2-inch strip is on the top. I kind of staggered them so I'm not cutting all of those seams at once. Since this is 2 inches, I'm going to cut another 2 inches off of the side. So I'm going to line this up best as possible on that pink. I'm measuring from the pink, the outside of the pink edge, not the inside of it, due to the fact that these blocks are off, so it doesn't. I'm trying to be as consistent with all of this as possible. All right, so 2 inches and cut through it. And we're going to start by taking one piece, put it on the bottom, bring it back over here, and we're going to chain piece all these together. So, oh, look, you can't even see my face. Dang it. Hold on 2 seconds. Turn it back just a little. There we go. Hopefully that will see right there. There we go. Now you guys can see me. Yeah, the camera's annoying. Good camera. So now I'm going to take, since these are exactly the same, I'm going to nest these seams. And unfortunately, since I pressed them all one way, this is going to have to be finger pressed to the other way to nest it. You can use whatever, but I'm just going to hold the seam, and it should stay if I hold it. If you lay it flat on the table, we want it to nest. Okay, and I'm just going to sew them together. So I'm going to nest that seam before I sew it. Let's see how fast I could actually sit and do all this. Probably pretty quick, because I'm pretty quick about it. They should all be the same size. If you have that same 1/4 inch seam, then they should all be the same. So I'm just going to start it right here at the top. Put a couple stitches down. Nest the seam up right here. When I say nested, it means 2 seams going 2 different ways. Just holding it with my finger all the way to the machine. Take a stitch, hold the seam the way I want it. Once I lay it on my flat part of the table, it actually stays nice. Two more. Line it up. Start sewing. Flip that seam. Hold it nicely where it's nice and nested. Like I said, this is just a quick and easy Layercake quilt. We could even call it Layercake mashup, because that's all I'm doing is mashing them up into a bazillion different pieces. So just holding it. All right, we're going to leave that on there because these are the final sewing. And I'm going to find my 2.5 inch cuts. And I found them right pieces to line up really nicely. So try to keep them as straight as possible. If you pressed them straight and didn't pull or tug on anything, the blocks should stay straight and flat. So I'm moving to my 2.5 inch. I should have just cut them the exact way in the first place, but like I said, I was just mixing things up. I figured I'd put them all together in order. You guys know me, I can't keep anything consistent usually. I mix it all up. So we're just mashing it up, going from one to the other. All right, so this is my 2.5 inch pile, and you guessed it, we're cutting these at 2.5 inches. Again, my cut is on the pink, the outer side of the pinking. 2.5. And it didn't cut very well through all this. Let's see if I got it now. Okay. Now this pile, we're going to put one on the bottom. Just one. Alrighty. We're going to slide these through, and obviously, again, the seam is going to have to be flipped because obviously they were all pressed one way. And I have stuff falling off my table. Are you kidding me? It's so weird. Everything's vibrating off my table. All right. I'm just sewing them all through. I found the best tool for all those small pieces. It's a 7-inch folding press and cut with tiny 18mm rotary cutter. I use my small iron with it and square up all in front of my sewing machine. It's a tool, 7-inch folding press and cut. I don't know what that is. You'd have to share with me in Messenger what you're talking about, like, you know, because I don't know what you're talking about. Is it like a cutting mat that's reversible, like Angela Walters uses? That little cutting mat on one side, press mat on the other, if that's what you're talking about. I guess if I wasn't talking, I would have had this done faster. Because I've already almost hit my hour mark. And I want to get it all done. Again, I'm just folding my seam the opposite way because that one seam is one way. And I want them to nest. And I don't want them to nest being on the same exact side. That would be kind of retarded. And when we press it, it'll go to the way it's supposed to go anyway on its own, because naturally now it's going to want to fold that way because it's pulled that way. Okay. All right, now we're going to grab the 3-inch pile. And then after the 3-inch pile will be the 3.5-inch pile, then the 4-inch pile, then the 4.5-inch pile, then the 5-inch pile. Yeah, that's definitely 4, 5. Okay. All right. So again, I'm just going to stack all these up nicely. My machine is like any way but straight, like in my way. So this is the 3-inch pile because we did the 2 and the 2.5 so far. So now we're on 3. I think this is the part that takes the longest, is relining these up to cut them again. That way they are all exactly the same. All right. Just to make sure that I did grab the 3-inch pile, I'm going to look and yep, it's 3 inches. So they're going to line this up on 3 inches and then cut it. I'm making sure, because now my pile is really stacked up right here, so I can't really tell through my ruler if I'm on the line exactly. I am, and I am. Okay, look at that. 3-inch. And this one, those were 1 onto the bottom, so now these are 2 onto the bottom. And we're going to bring it over here and sew up. So, yeah, that's what we're doing. And again, we're going to flip that seam. It's going to happen with every single block. But again, they should line up if all those 1/4-inch seams and cuts are accurate. And I should have put a headband on because my hair is in my face. Wasn't it? I saw that. She made me want to make a big, huge Dresden because Dresden is my favorite block, one of my favorite blocks. And oh my God, now I want to make a big, huge one. But I don't have a ruler to do that angle, you know? I don't know how I would do that. I mean, I could try. I have to get a big, huge, the biggest Dresden ruler that they sell, I think. Because that would be the only way to do that. And for those of you who aren't in the group and want to join the group, I did finish that Moana quilt, so you guys can go see. And then I posted pictures of yesterday's Dresden. I haven't done the applique part yet. I got it drawn up. I'm not going to tell you what I chose, though. I got it drawn up. It's ready. I just need to put it on some fabric and sew it on. So, yeah. That's the challenging part with that one. But I did get it drawn up. And it's going to be a wall hanging, most likely. So I'm going to make it as if it's going to the quilt show. Whether I take it to a quilt show or not, I don't know. But I'm going to make it quilt show quality because I'm just going to make it a wall hanging. And you know, I thought about it too today. It was hanging up in here on my little miniature clothesline in my room. And I was thinking, I told Scott, I was like, I should have took 4 pieces and 4 pieces with some sashing and made it ready to make a, you know, those pillow style headboards, you know, that's made with cloth, the cloth headboard. I totally could have made something like that. And when I was looking at it, I was like, oh my God, that would have made the perfect headboard because the center could have had a big button or something cool. So if I ever get some wood, that's probably what I'm going to do. If I ever get some wood to make my own custom headboard and some fluff stuff or whatever the headboards are made with, I'm going to make me a headboard with Dresdens because that will be awesome. All right, so I'm going to the 3.5-inch ones. I'm going to make sure that this was the 3.5. Yes, they were, because they measure at 3.25 now. We're going to line this one up. I'm lining these up on the line, by the way. I'm putting the pinking, if you guys haven't noticed, the pinking I'm lining up on the line, as well as staggering all the blocks, just to make sure that I get it right. Because the higher the sound becomes with all these seams, the more harder it is for me to see that darn line on my ruler. Obviously, I just use Fiskar rulers, so Fiskars are kind of, I don't know, they're easy for me to read, but they're kind of hard when colors are dark because the lines are dark on them, so it kind of makes it a little bit more challenging. For me, at least. That's why I have my pink long ruler for dark colored fabrics, but I'm just using the short one for now, or the 12.5, I should say. So these were 3.5. We're going to cut 3.5. 3.5, 3.5. All right. Make sure you check twice, cut once. Okay, we're going to take 3. No, I'm on 2, huh? Yeah, 2. Take 2 off the top and put it on the bottom. That's right. So this one's 2 off the top onto the bottom. The next pile is 3. All right. Get these sewn. Great ideas. Oh, for the headboard thing, you mean? Will I be able to see that link in the replay, Diane? Because I can scroll down to it when I press replay. All right, so let me try to get these sewn. I'm not going to talk as much because I'm just going to start sewing really fast. Get them sewn so I don't get distracted. I'm just going to look at the screen here and there. The more I look at the screen, the slower I go. I should have turned my phone on and put it next to me, but I didn't. I'm telling you guys, these blocks are super duper adorable. All right, next pile is 4-inch. I'm going to make sure that they have 4 inches, and they are, or they were. I'm making sure that that 4-inch part was on the top. Again, I'm lining it up on the line and staggering each piece. And they're still in the order they were to start. If you guys remember, I pressed them in the original order to start so that these blocks line up. That's another important thing, is to keep them in order that you sewed them, cut them, you know what I mean? So if you take one off the bottom or one off the top and put it on the bottom in that original order, you need to keep them in that original order the whole entire time for this to work like planned. All right, so this is the 4-inch pile. We are going to cut 4 inches off. And always remember that the your smaller size is always up on the top, and you're always cutting when the seam is not diagonal, not perpendicular. I don't know. The seam goes side to side. How about that? I'm so horrible with those words. So the seam goes side to side. As you can tell, though, I am having a lot of fun making this. This is the 4-inch blocks. Now I'm going to take 3, 1, 2, 3, and put them on the bottom. Okay, why did those ones not come out right? Hold on a second. I just realized something. These all had a different square in every single one of those. These ones are lining up right, so I must have got something wrong. Let's take those bottom 3 and put it back on the top real quick. Just real quick, I got to see something. Because even I mess up. So those were like that. What if I took 2? Let's look real quick with 2. I know I didn't do 2 on my 4s. No, I didn't do 2. And I didn't do 1. What did I do? I know I did 3. Something's out of order. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Does anybody remember what I did on my 4-inch cut? Because these are lining up. And they aren't on the rest of this. And they weren't supposed to. They were supposed to get messed up. See, I'll show you a block real quick. See how this corner is a totally different fabric than this corner, but this, the 2 long pieces are the same. They're supposed to be different like that every time. So this last block, this last pile, the 4-inch pile got messed up. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Why did that happen? Oh, well, I'm just going to sew them together like this. I don't care. I don't care. Oh, well. Some are going to be the way they're not supposed to be, and some will be the way that I imagined. Don't matter. Still cute. Still cute. Find out where the top one is from in it, and stack them, and you'll see how many you got. I'm just going to do it like this. It doesn't really matter, honestly. I just imagined them being different. But that's okay. It don't matter. I don't want to slow myself down when I'm on a roll anyway. You know, I'm on a roll. Gotta keep sewing. I also gotta keep them lined up while I'm sewing. But we'll see once it's all together, Michelle, if it's going to look like my idea that was in my head. Like, it's weird how I can actually see the quilt before I put it together without even having measurements. Like, I don't even need the measurements. I can just imagine what it's going to look like. All right, last one. Then we're going to grab the 4.5-inch ones, and we're going to do that same thing. We're going to stagger stack them on the line, and we're going to cut 4.5 inches. All right, so we're going to stagger stack these in 4.5-inch ones, and we're going to cut 4.5 inches off. Ah, stop moving. Come on, stagger nicely. Keeping them on the line because I'm using the pinked edge. Like, these blocks are like so messed up in size. 10-inch squares, my butt. And these off brands that are probably actual fabrics, like these are probably a freaking Kaufman or something, you know? Who knows? But they're actually brands that probably leftovers of designers' stuff, and it just goes into a factory and then they get cut up and Tuesday morning gets them. You know, if that makes any sense. All right, last one. These are also going to get 3 because the last 4.5 got 3. So this is 4.5. Line it up. And cut 4.5. Now we're going to take 3 off the top. And look at that. They are totally, I guess it's the ones with 3 that are going to line up exactly like they are supposed to. And I'm going to pre-cut the 5-inch ones too, so that way I can keep sewing. So this is the 5-inch pile. That's just in half pretty much. So I'm going to stagger these. And you guessed it, I'm going to cut them at 5 inches. So it's going to make a 4 patch. It's actually a pretty simple way to make a 4 patch, honestly. And when we're done, these blocks should actually be 9.5-inch square, by the way. Or 9 or 9.5 inch. I'm not sure. I'll look in a second. All right, so this is my 5-inch one. So I'm going to cut these so that they're pre-cut, and then I'll sew the rest so I can make this go really fast. So it's lined up 5 inches, 5 inches. And the 5-inch pile got 2 from the top, put onto the bottom. Aha, see, these ones are different. Go figure. Something about those 3s, the piles with the 3. All right, so let's get these ones sewn through. You guys can talk amongst yourselves momentarily while I sew these through real quick. So far, this is these 4 and 4.5 inch ones are the only ones out of all of it that lined up properly. So with matching colors. It really doesn't matter because in the end I'm mixing it all up. So And I'm not going to be squaring anything up because they should all come the same size in the end. Because there's only 2 cuts from every block. So I'll measure it when we're done, but I'm pretty sure they're 9.5. It should be 9.5. And you can do the same thing actually from 5-inch squares, except your numbers you would do would have to be smaller, like 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, which makes 1.5, 2.5, 3.5 both ways. So this one don't. I chose to do odds and or evens with halves and evens with not halves. If that makes any sense. Like staying in a number order. Because if I would have done it a different way, it wouldn't have stayed in the number order. All right, let's sew these ones together. The last thing I do is press all these, and then I'm going to let them get out of order because there's no big deal now. Once they're all sewn, I'm keeping them in order. After they're sewn, they can go out of order because then I'm just going to lay them out as if it was a design wall, but technically I'm going to move them around and just sew them together in rows of 6, 7 rows of 6. Or 6 rows of 7. 7 rows of 6. Same thing. You know what I'm saying. 6 across by 7 down is how this is going to go. And again, they should all line up every time. You should have a nesting seam each and every time. If your cuts were exactly the same, they should always match. But this is definitely fun, and so far I'm at 1 hour and 30 minutes, and I'm almost done with the sewing. So all I have left to do is press, and then lay them out, which I'm not really going to do. I just realized that I ran out of bobbin on that one. So let me just throw a bobbin in. So 1 bobbin pretty much does the whole thing because I had already used some from the bobbin. So 1 bobbin does the whole layer cake. Go figure. Look at that. Now that's that's a good thing. Not even using that much thread. Plus I'm chain piecing the whole project too. All right, last one. Then we're going to press all these and lay them. Well, I'm not going to lay them out. I'm just going to choose 6 different ones. All right, so I'm just going to, now I don't care if they get out of order because there's no more cutting. Just going to throw them around, let them get all mixed up. See? I don't care, just throwing around, let them get mixed up. So I'm just going to press them all, grab 6, sew them together. And in any direction, I'm not going to care about the direction they're sewn either. You know what I mean? They're going to all go in different directions as long as no 2 colors are next to each other. That's the only thing I'm going to worry about is no 2 same colors being next to each other. If that makes any sense. Because there are repeats and layer cakes and charm squares and jelly rolls and so on. It's really rare to get a layer cake that actually has 42 different prints because most fabric lines have 28 to 38 prints in the line. If anybody didn't know that, I actually researched that. All right, so now I'm going to press all 42 pieces. I'll turn the camera down for you guys. All right, so let's put this down to the pressing area again, right there. tip this so it turns back on. I have one of those irons that turns on if you move it. So here's my pile. See that? I'm just going to throw it right here, and I'm just going to start grabbing and pressing. So as you can see, I'm going to press with these on the top. And remember that piece, let's put this here. I had to manually fold that back when I go to press it. When I go to pre-press it, I'm going to lay that down right there when I set the seam. So I'll just set the seam by laying that piece down like so, and then folding it back. And before I do anything, I'm going to put this on here. Like I said, 9. They're supposed to be 9.5. There we go. 9 and almost a half. So obviously these squares weren't perfect, but I figured they would be 9.5 because we took out only 2 seams. So I'm going to lay these behind me after I press them, and I'm just going to kind of throw them back there because, yeah. So I'm going to set the seam by folding that piece down and then rolling it back. I'm just going to put it behind me. I'm going to try to keep them nice and flat. Again, when I set the seam, that folded back seam will get ironed the way it was sewn. But see these? They're 2 different prints on most of them, except for those 4-inchers. So let's grab a big one. Like I said, you can see that seam, how I purposely flipped it. So now when I set the seam, I'm just going to put it the way it's supposed to go, the way we want it to go. But you can see these cute blocks as they go. And remember, the colors are actually different than what you guys see, because unfortunately, this camera does not pick up the pure, true color that these are. My big, huge pile is kind of in the way. So I'm going to fold that back while setting that seam. Look at that. You guys get to see them all as I go. I'm just going to throw them all back here on the table, get them out of my way. Again, when I set my seam is when I put that other seam the way it needs to go. Don't forget to do that. That way you don't have any lumps and bumps. It goes pretty quick. This whole quilt should go together really quick. And they are 9.5-inch squares now. Look at how this one worked out. I don't know if you guys saw that. That sunflower or that daisy being right in the center like that of that end piece. That worked out perfect. That was nice. Makes it cute when stuff like that happens. Oops. Go that way. Throwing this pile like this, I better just stack them all. It makes it easier for me to grab and press. I just have them all nicely stacked. Look at that. Oh yeah, I can mix them up. Just grab and press. My wonderful pile of pieces. Because grabbing the way I was grabbing wasn't working properly. All right. Let's make this easier so you guys can actually see what I'm pressing here. Move to the side like that. All right. So this is the seam that now needs to go that way. So these are the 5-inch blocks right here. So 2 are the same and 1 is different. Or 2 are different. 2 are the same and 2 are different. So I'm going to put that seam the way it needs to be first. I'm going to roll it back. I have no steam left in my iron, so let's give it some steam real quick. You know me, I love a steam iron. I steam everything. Some of you don't like it. You guys like dry irons, but not me. I have to have steam. To me, it helps. The 5-inch squares, we're going a totally different way. And remember, these 4-inch and 4.5-inch ones did not get mixed up like I had thought. Don't know why, but they didn't. So they're kind of almost equal. Sorry, Tiff. Very tired, having trouble keeping eyes open. Love the quilt. We'll watch the rest of the morning. Big hugs. Good night. Oh yes. Good night. Love ya. Talk to you later. Have fun sleeping. Have fun sleeping. Yeah, I'll have fun doing this. You can have fun sleeping. I'm gonna get it done. You guys don't have to stay up to watch, but those of you who are night owls, it's nice to have the company because everyone in my house is probably already asleep. But not me. I'm in here doing this. And I will have it done quicker than normal. Quicker than a normal quilt. Also, this can also be a quilt that you can sash. Sashing is definitely a big possibility for this one. If you want, I'm not going to. I'm going to just leave them all be muched up like this. You know, messed up and out of order and, you know. But definitely you can sash them if you want to make it bigger. Sashing is definitely a way to make things bigger. I am just going to sew them together though in rows. But white worked for sashing with this, with like blue cornerstones. But I don't feel like mixing. Trying to find a color that works, I guess is the word for it. If you haven't noticed, I'm throwing some behind me and some on the table because I'm trying to mix all these sizes up because I don't want two same sizes next to each other so that I can lay these out real quick and sew them together. Like I said, I don't want two same colors next to each other. That's the only thing I'm looking for. No two colors line up. But I'm also going to be sewing them together in totally different ways. So one block will probably go this way, another block can go next to it this way, another one this way. That way there's no seams to match, except for the rows. When you put the row together, that will be the only seam that needs to match, is the rows. I really like this one. I don't know if you guys can see that. That one's really nice. All right, getting close to the end of the pile. Getting close to the end. Hello. Yeah, first time I've seen you live in a while. Yeah, because I haven't actually been here in a while. I've been gone. But I'm here, and this was one of those brain things that I had to get out of my brain. Instead of writing it down and never doing it, I decided, you know what, I'm just going to go live. I can't sleep at night anyway. I can't quilt in the garage on the long arm because it's not in the garage right now. The machine is in the house. So I am just in here doing this. And I'm almost, well, once I get the rows together, I'll be done. I'm almost done pressing at least. But I'm having fun here. You'll have to watch from the beginning because I'm not going to, right now I'm totally concentrating. So if I tell all the directions, I'm going to lose track of what I'm doing. I say it like 10 times in the video. So it's not a very hard quilt. It's very, very simple to do. This is definitely a, so far, hour and 30 minute. And I'm hopefully we'll have this done in 2 hours then, because all the pieces are now pressed. Now let's turn the camera and start sewing rows together. Like I said, I'm not going to, oh, I found one on the floor. It fell. The lonely one fell. Because it fell on the floor, it'll be my first piece. I'll sew something to it. All right, camera's being moved. Sorry, guys. Right there. There we go. All right. Like I said, I'm just going to grab and sew. Actually, give me like 2 minutes to go grab another water from the fridge real quick. It's not very far, so I'll be right back. Ouch. All right, guys. I'm back. All right. Get myself situated. All right, so now I'm just going to make sure that no two pieces get sewn to each other. They're all just going to get sewn together randomly and in different directions as well. They should all be 9.5 inches. So I'm just going to go 6 pieces. I'm going to sew 7 rows of 6 pieces. So here's 2. Let's see. I need a small one. Let's put this one in. Let's see. Is that one match any of that? Oh, that's already in that row. Let's grab this one. We'll put it this way. I'm not going to care which way. I'm just going to move them all around. I don't want no seams to match except for rows. 2. So there's 3. Let's reach under, grab this one. I don't want no whites next to whites, so let's put this one here. Two, 3, 4. Let's do let's do this one. No, I don't want 2 whites next to each other. Let's do this one. 5. This will be number 5. And one more. Let's just do this one because it's right here. We're going to put this way like that. And this is 6. Line them up. So here is a row of 6 so far. See, they're all different sizes. So we're just going to start putting these right here behind me on my chair. And let's put 6 more together. Let's grab some of these smaller ones. All right. Let's put this here. Like I said, as long as no 2 are next to each other, that's the same print. And I don't care. And I'm turning them all different ways as well. So this will be very mixed up. What I saw in my head is pretty much very mixed up. Let's put this one like that. And let's grab this one. Let's go this way with it. Let's be 5. And this one would be number 6. See how fast this is going together, guys? Definitely something you can do as a quick gift in a day. So that's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, row number 2. So the camera's trying to focus. You can tell that there's daisies on here and stuff. There's number 2. And you get the picture of what I'm doing now. So I don't want 2 darks next to each other either. Or 2 of those. Let's throw this one in. Like this. So I'm making 7 rows. And then I'm going to press the 7 rows real quick. It should be really quick when I go to press them. Let's go with this way. 3. You can also turn them as many times. You can all put them all in the same direction. In my head, I saw a bunch of jumbled mess. So I'm doing the jumbled mess. But standard sizes throughout the whole jumbled mess, if that makes any sense. Instead of awkward cuts. I didn't see awkward cuts in this whole thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll do 5 and 6. Oops, that's the same as that one. Let's grab this one. Two, 3, 4, 5, and this will be 6. I don't want 2 white next to each other. I don't want 2 dark next to each other. Well, that's the only way it works. But we're going to put it there anyway. No, I don't want that there. We're going to grab a different one. We'll do this one. Nope. 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 I want the light one. Aha. That works. I'm like, it doesn't matter as long as they're moving, the movement of the color is moving around the quilt top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I'm just going to start laying them behind me now. 1, 2. Oh, I don't want that next to that. I'll grab this one instead. 2. Then this one. 2. This number 4. And I know what you're thinking. When I hook the rows together, maybe something will match. But I'm actually going to decide which row is which row, if that makes any sense. So I'll look at them and line them up. Since they're all like right next to me, you know? 1, 2, 3, 4. Where's a little dinky one, a little 2-incher? I not have any left? Guess not. We'll just put this one here then. And something with bright colors. This is the 5-inch square one, so this one actually has a seam that's going to line up exactly. So I'll hold it so that it nests. It's okay to have one matching up. Yeah, it's a layer cake madness. All right. 1, 2. I think it's going to look awesome. Like I said, if anybody wants to be whatever about it, then you could always always put sashing between it all. If that makes it seem any different, and keep them in their orders, like all the 2-inch ones in the same row, all the 2.5-inch ones. So what I saw was a disaster in my head. 1, 2, 3 with a layer cake, but all cut, nicely, if that makes any sense. I'm gonna put this one this way. Nicely cut up in specific numbers, but jumbled up when put together. That's 4. This one. 5. Grab one more. No, I don't want that though. I want this one. See, it's good because you can just choose whatever you want. Oh, I don't want that there. Let's put this one there. Like I said, they're all 9.5 inches. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're making 7 rows of 6. Let's put this one with a really dark one there. So, two. Ah. And if it doesn't match, it's because of those stupid pink edges. This one. Three. Four. One, two, three, four, five. One more. Ooh, I got a couple of these almost same ones left, so I'm gonna have to throw these in here. This is what you get when you don't do a design wall or lay it out on the floor. All right, so let's try to mix and match all this up, and this could just kind of go in the center somewhere. These colors are different, but they're similar, if that makes any sense. Sometimes that happens. So let's throw this one up like this. Put this one like this. You guys, I have to say that this is more fun than I've had in a long time. And you definitely can tell I got my mojo back. Definitely got my mojo back finally. You know, the funny thing is usually on my downtime with MS issues, I don't ever get a chance to, I always design when I'm down. Well, this last time being down in bed for 6 days, I actually did not design anything. Besides deciding on making a Dresden plate quilt, that was it. Usually I design when I'm in bed. All right, so now I'm going to throw this like this. I'm not even going to bother pressing just yet. I should, but I'm not going to. I'll just finger press. Finger pressing works. Make this whole row go this way. Okay. Probably would be better if I pressed with the iron, but I'm not going to bother. Because I can press the whole project when I'm done. All right, so let's take another row. Just grab one randomly. We're going to lay it right here, and I'm going to see, okay, so that one matches that one, so I'm going to turn it around. Go. That don't match, that don't match. Doesn't match, doesn't match. Oh, look at that. No matching. Let's sew them together. All right. So I start from the top, and the only seams that I'm going to nest are the rows. That is it. Since I finger pressed one up, all I have to do is hold the other one down, and that's it. Sewing with a 1/4 inch seam all the way down. Just line them up hold the next seam that you're matching before you get to it. Just hold it as if you were pinning it. This is just the no need to pin quote. No need at all. I almost thought that seam right there was a seam. It's not. I got so much dust from this thread also piling up. Alright, next seam. Line up the next seam. Okay, so just because, for the sake of making this lay flatter, I'm going to press this long seam really quickly like. So obviously you guys kind of can't see me for 2 seconds. Well, you can see my body, but just pressing this really long seam. Make it go faster. This looks really awesome. You know that? It may be a jumbled mess, but it actually looked like an awesome jumbled mess. Like, it's super cool. I like it. I like it a lot. Almost done. You guys know me, I steam everything. Okay. Next row. So we're going to lay this right here, just like so. Grab another pile or another row. I'm going to look at it one way and see nothing is lining up. Look at that. Another row that is completely not matching. Start from the top and work my way down. Just nesting the seams of the block itself. That's the only seam that needs to be nested. And I didn't even press them. I'm just holding them. I would say that is pressed enough to hold it. I'll show you guys where, when I'm completely finished, you'll see how long it actually took to make. Because I'm kind of curious, if people can do this more often, then more people would get more gifts if you can make a quilt in 2 hours, you know, or at least the top. Obviously, it'd take another, 2 hours to quilt it if you just do some straight line quilting. Or some quick free motion swirls or something. Or if you're lucky like me to have a long arm, that even makes the process faster. All right, let me press this row. I'll be right back. Hi, Debbie. Let's see what. I am up to making a random 10-inch Layercake Madness quilt. Randomness that I thought of, and it is starting to look super awesome because these colors go together anyway, guys. So it really looks cool because the color palette matches, no matter what I do, it goes together. Oops, I'm losing pieces to another project that's on the table on my ironing board. Can't lose those pieces because it's a very important project. right. Let's add another row. All right. Put that there. Let's put this down and see what this one looks like. Make sure nothing lines up. Those are kind of similar. I don't know if I want that many pieces of similarities next to that. Let's try this one. Now let's put this one up. See what this one looks like. Nope. Turn it around. Too much dark in one spot. But always just flip it because it doesn't matter. Hold this here. Oh, those are exactly the same. Don't want that. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Yeah, that one matches. Let's try this one. Not matching, not matching, not matching, and not matching. Look at that. Let's put this row on. All right. What we can do with one layer cake, guys. That's it. And you could always add a border if you have a fabric that goes with the line or something. But I don't even think I'm going to add a border. I think I'm just going to leave it as is. Did I run out of bob? Oh, I ran that whole thing not seeing anything. I got a tangle. That's what I get for not having for my bangs being in my face and not having a headband to pull them back. Okay, there we go. My bangs keep going in my eyes. It's so messy. One layer cake, one Tiffany, one jumbo mess. That's right, exactly. One crazy Tiffy and some fabric. Bam! I have a quilt. one crazy Tiffy, some fabric, and I don't know, a determination. Huh. Had a piece that looked like it was shredding. And I also, you guys got to remember that every single one of these is now back to pinked edges after all those cuts, because you sewed the straight edges that you cut together. The pinked edges are always on the outside. So if you want, you could square your blocks up to 9 inches, but you get more for your money if you don't, because it's all going to line up anyway. Because they all come out the same size, no matter what, through all those cuts. All right, let me press this row back. So that's 4. Telling you guys, this is looking awesome. Kind of glad I started this. I like awesome. All right, and again, it doesn't matter which way I lay it. I just stick it up here, line another one, and lay it on. Starting to get kind of heavy though. obviously. So it's going to fall. Let's put this row on. Make sure nothing matches, that doesn't match, and doesn't match. Nothing. Put that on there. Yes, it's going to be pretty because the colors in layer cakes are always pre put together in orders. So technically it all goes together either way. So it's going to look nice no matter what you do. You could chop it up and make whatever big old jumble mess like I'm doing, and it's still going to look awesome because the colors, they blend with each other. So I just love it when I have crazy ideas like this, though. It's free piecing pretty much. There's no rules except for not to have any color touch each other that matches. That's the only rule. Besides the cuts, obviously. The numbers is the part that makes it equal and balanced. It balances it out with all the cuts being exactly the same, or else you just have wonkiness. So it's technically not very wonky if you think about it. And I'm nesting all the seams too, so everything's lining up. My seam got kind of small right there. I don't know how I did that one. And these end two pieces seem to be the same number. So they are the same cut. All right, let me press this one, and we have, what, 2 more to go? 3 more to go. And then I'll be done. And I'm using a small stitch length. I didn't know if I told you guys that from the beginning. It's at like 1.8 because I knew I was going to be cutting things up. So I made sure that the machine was on a tighter stitch length, just so that anybody that's curious to know. And I just figured I just, instead of adjusting the stitch length for the sewing the rows together, just leaving it the way I had it. All right. So I bring it back up here again. Like so. Grab another row. Lay it right here. Nothing lines up. And that don't line up, but they're kind of similar. You don't really want similar. I mean, those are too much in one spot, but nope, those are the same. So let's grab another one. Let's see. Oh, nope, let's put this way over there. Okay, look at that. So we only had one more. Okay, after this. Like it's getting bigger, so obviously you guys got to make sure you keep it on your tables. Because the bigger it gets, the more it pulls, and when it pulls, it shifts, and you don't want any shifting. You want to keep them nice and straight. All right, so let's nest these seams up. Ooh, these got a matcher right there too. Make sure they match nicely. Nesting seams, making it all nice and pretty. This hair of mine is going to seriously mess my brain up It's like frustrating me. It's not, my bangs are not long enough to go back into the ponytail. I don't want an 80s ponytail by putting it on the top of my head. And they're constantly in my face, and I should just keep a headband in here at all times for when I'm sewing, because it's constantly falling in my face. And those little clip things, don't ask, because they don't stay in my hair. I have really thin, fine hair, so clips and bobby pins and stuff, they don't stay in my hair, unfortunately. So I can't use those to hold my bangs back. And I'm not cutting them. This Tiffy is trying to grow her hair out since you guys witnessed her chop it all off. All right, let's press this, put the last one on, and that one will just determine what end it goes on, honestly. We'll see what end it's going to lay on. Okay. All right, let's see what side we're going to attach this last row to. Can go there, there. That's good, that's good, that's good. Look at that. It's going to go on this side. Ugh. Got to keep it on the table because it's getting too big, guys. Like I said, it's only going to be lap size. I already knew that because one layer cake makes, depending on if you add fabric to it or not, if you don't add fabric to it, it makes a twin or lap. You can throw this on a twin, it'd be just fine, you know. But yeah, it's twin or lap. And if you add sashing, you can get it onto a full-size bed nicely. I mean, it's not going to be perfect or anything or hang over the sides. If you add borders, then it'll hang over the sides. 2-layer cakes, you can make yourself a queen. If you add sashing or if you're making it with whatever, then you can get a king size. So it all depends on how much fabric you use with it. And if you don't, then laps are great gifts, and this doesn't take very long to make. And like I said, I'm probably not going to add any borders or anything. I'm just going to leave it as is and quilt it because I think it'll be just fine, and bind it in a white or a blue because, you know, those are the two main colors. Maybe even a yellow. A yellow would look cool, and I think I might have some really cool yellow that I can bind it with. And I can just back it with a sheet because I have tons of sheets for backing these kind of quilts. My random decision quilts. My random midnight makings, if you want to call it that. Yes, she's quick this. Yeah, I'm pretty quick with this stuff. This is, when I do things like this, they go together really quick. Really quick. Plus, I sew fast. I'm a pedal to the metal kind of girl. I can't stand going slow. Something about it. I had to go slow today on my brother to do some finishing stuff, and then I also did the applique yesterday and had to go slow with that. I don't like it. I don't like going slow. Alright, almost done, and I'm going to press it. And then I'm going to do my best to show you guys the whole thing. All right, let me press it and then I'll show you. I'll have to turn the camera so that you guys can see. Okay. One more time. Obviously. This looks so cool. I don't care what anyone says. This is pretty awesome. It's not going to be pressed really, really completely flat at this moment because I'm in a tight space right now, but you'll get the general idea of what this completely looks like. I'll press everything nice and flat later, but at least it's complete. So in pretty much 2 hours, I have completed a quilt top. Not that I'm bragging or anything. I'm just trying to tell you guys. All right, let me turn the camera to see. You can see most of that. You'll see me. All right. Ready? So I'm going to show you sections. So there's half of it. There's the other half. And then let's pull it up some. There's some more rows. More rows. And obviously, since I finished it tonight, I could take a picture to show you guys. There's more. And more. I'm hoping it's holding up good enough to show you. There we go. So let me just fold it in half. Ready for my math, friends? I'm going to give you guys a plus and plus. So whatever plus whatever is going to be our measurement. This is just a random measurement. So 27 plus 27 is what? 2, 4, somebody says 14. 1, 4, 54 by, hold on, 62. 54 by 62, guys. That's me quick measure. 54 by 62. That's not very bad. So one more time, like you could see, it covers my whole body. Like from floor to ceiling, I'm completely covered. So you guys don't see me no more. So that's how big it is. And it's my whole entire arm width. So 54 by 62, guys. It definitely is the perfect lap. Perfect lap. There you guys go. Pretty cool, huh? No two colors matched along it. It looks great. I like it. All right, guys. Look at that. I love it. No need for a border or anything. So I appreciate you guys watching and joining me such a late time. It's almost midnight, so I'm going to get off. But don't forget, if you are new to my channel, head down here. That way, right there. There's a subscribe button. Hit that. A bell will pop up. When you see that bell, click on it, and you can get notifications when I come on. Because all I do is live videos. It's rare that I post videos, but I'll get there sooner or later. Other than that, don't forget in the description below will be directions. I'll type them in later when I get a chance, when the video is finished. And then I will, in the description below is also a link to the group. Don't forget, if you are subscribed to my channel, join that group. Share with me all the things that you do, and I share with you guys still pictures of all the things I do and the things that I don't make videos of, because I do actually make tons of stuff and complete things without videos. So don't forget to do all that, guys. So, all right. Love you all. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.